Did I not promise you fun this afternoon? Didn't I promise you fun? Okay. So look, we brought our own props for this one. And I wish that I had been clever enough to think of this great line that has been written about Jessica Matthews. Jessica Matthews will never run out of energy. And there's a reason why this makes sense. It's because not only are you just such a high energy person who has done so much even from a very early age, your first big invention was the socket, a soccer ball that created energy. But since then, she's gone on to do many wonderful other things, including what we're seeing here, which might just look like props to you, but this is where it's at. This is probably the second.
This is the second one.
Energy.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We're having our fitness program now. What does this do?
Sure. So this is the Pulse. The Pulse is an energy-generating jump rope. So it literally harnesses the kinetic energy that's generated during play and stores that power inside of the handles.
Flip that open for us.
And so this was designed just like the socket, which is an energy-generating soccer ball. This was designed for the developing world where they don't have reliable access to the grid, really just for basic things like light. And so kids can play and then get the power that they need. Just, it has inside of each handle one of our more micro generators. And so as this is, if you want to adjust it for your height, and so as you're jumping,
Tempts me to do this.
as you're jumping, you can get light, as simple as that.
Let there be light.
Yeah.
Off a jump rope. Is that not the coolest thing?
I do jump rope in heels. There's not a lot of space on this.
There's not a lot of space here, but you would just jump rope.
Oh, yeah. I really wish there was more
I'm
space.
so tempted to do this, right? But you guys dare me? No, I better not. So, yeah.
Let's see how much space there is. Why
but
not?
you can do this, right? I mean, you could generate it.
You can do, let's see here. Let's slide this over. Why not? Let's give them a little bit of a show.
Okay.
Woo! So it works just like any jump rope. I actually have one that I use every single day.
Are you doing this in your heels?
Oh, yes. And so, back up. There you go.
I'll just be over here.
So it works just like any other jump rope.
Doing this for
And
like 15
then-
minutes. How much? Really? How much jumping do you have to do to power up a light?
Oh, just minutes of jumping can give you hours of light with this jump rope. This is extra efficient. I think that each handle is about a ratio of 1 to 4, 1 to 6, 1 to 4. So we're talking about maybe 5 minutes of jumping, giving you like 20 minutes of light, or jumping for an hour, playing double dutch for an hour and getting 4 to 5 hours of light.
Thank goodness we don't have to do double dutch.
No space for that.
Yeah, there's no way that's happening. All right, so you have taken that technology and you have gone on to, you've gone on to more, as it were. And that's specifically more. Tell us about that.
Yeah, sure. So what was really exciting, so I invented the socket when I was 19 years old. It was something that came out of a class project. It came out of my experiences in Nigeria. I'm a dual citizen of Nigeria and the United States, and I've spent a lot of time there really just seeing what it feels like to live without something we often take for granted here.
Light.
And so I'm now 28, so 9 years later. And
You're basically old now in the world of your...
I feel old, but my mom, however, literally still looks like she's 29, so I'm really looking forward to the good genes that I'm just like, go ahead, girl, go ahead, mom, this is great. No, but I think what was exciting is that in looking to...
the microphone a little bit away from your mouth.
Perfect.
Okay, yeah. Maybe.
Hopefully, is that better? Is that better? Good?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. But what was exciting was that in actually working to build out the socket, build out the Pulse, and make them really well-made products, we developed an amazing technology that could go beyond play. I'm just going to try this out. Move this away a little bit.
We need better technology.
Yeah, a little. Hopefully that's better. Can everyone still hear me?
Yeah.
Great.
You definitely want to hear her.
Yeah, and so that is what
Motion-based. More is motion-based, off-grid,
Renewable energy.
Energy.
Exactly. MORE is an acronym. It stands for Motion-Based Off-Grid Renewable Energy. And it's what's inside the socket ball and the pulse jump rope, and what we hope will be inside almost anything that moves within the next year. And when I say that, we're talking about things like suitcases, inside suitcase wheels, floor panels, furniture, just about everything that moves
Explain
can
this
actually
to
work
me.
with that. No problem. So MORE is a platform that allows us to customize our microgenerator technology for just about any type of integration. What that means is that we're actually able to harness power from 3 core motions: rotational, which is what you'll find in the socket ball or in the jump rope; linear compression, which is what I'm going to show you here; and sliding. And so the key to that, I'll get into all of the tech there, but we have 15 patents and patents pending covering this technology. And it's really exciting because we've been able to figure out how to do this at a low cost while maintaining efficiency. And so the key to that is actually a modularity design. So for example, here, what we have is a linear compression unit that's interchangeable. And it basically has these inside there. You can see that. And so these, little blocks inside, they're connected through magnetic induction. And basically, we're able to scale these, whether it's a 100 square foot floor or a 1,000 square foot floor, and connect them, and then actually place flooring on top. So this like indoor flooring, and then you can actually step and harness power.
Oh, I've turned on the lights.
Exactly. And harness power just from a step. We then store these impulses to power larger lights in an entire infrastructure building, or even Wi-Fi. We're working on some projects on the African continent right now that are literally powering whole buildings and ushering them into the smart city age in the same way that you leapfrogged with cell phone technology.
Okay, so the idea would be maybe you'd have a soccer field or something of...
Yeah, so you can do indoor, or we have one that has drainage that allows for outdoor uses. And so this, for example, is like a field turf or astroturf, and then you just can step and go. And that's as simple
So if you
as
had
that.
a field of kids playing, they could be making their own
running,
lights.
yeah. And each step can generate up to 4.5 watts. And so that's significant because when you're thinking about continuous motion and generating power at that amount, it's significant. A USB charger on your laptop will charge your cell phone at about 3 watts. A wall charger will charge your cell phone at about 5 watts. So in some cases, we're right there when it's come to linear compression, just from 1 square foot. Now imagine if you had a whole hallway of that and multiply that and what you can do.
Or kindergarten.
Yeah, and it's the same thing here also with this. So this is more inside each of the wheels, and it's our rotational.
So that's all the way down there with the little
Exactly.
with the wheels that I always get caught in my suitcase in the grate, right?
It's our rotational basically pillar of our platform. And so as you're walking, just normal walking in the airport, and I travel a lot, so this was incredibly needed, you're actually generating power anywhere from 3 to 6 watts. So in some cases, you're actually generating power at a faster rate than what you'd be doing if it was plugged into a wall, which is huge because I think we've all seen at the airport that weird thing we all do when we all go by the corner, by the plugs, and we don't actually talk to each other, but we
Get off the plane and go
get
straight
the
to
power
plug.
that you need. But with this, and I actually brought out my cell phone, show it off. With this, we're actually able to harness that power that
Everybody wants this now.
you're
I know
generating
this. Everybody wants
when you're going from terminal 1 to terminal 2 because they didn't tell you that they switched where the terminals are going to be. Maybe is that only me? That only happens to me. And then you can go ahead and just power. That's like that.
Just, do you not want this? Everybody wants this now, right? Everybody who travels wants this right now.
So what's exciting for us too is, it's not just about making cool energy generating products. It's about thinking about how to make them sustainably from I think a strategic perspective. So what we decided to do was be basically a B2B company. So we've developed all these products, but we're not going to be distributing them ourselves. We're actually partnering with OEMs, original equipment manufacturers that make suitcases and strollers and floor panels and building materials and furniture. And we're basically saying, we make this amazing core technology and we're able to integrate this into your supply chain. Let's work together and produce really awesome stuff.
And it's going to be everywhere. Now, this is amazing, right? So you've just gotten your first big round of funding, your Series A funding at $7 million. This is really impressive. A woman your age and a woman. And I have to talk about that a little bit. We've been hearing about this, how to increase the diversity of innovators, how we get funding for them. What did you find? Did you face any sort of reluctance in the community?
Well, so some facts. There have only been 13 black women who have ever raised more than $1 million in history. Right now, it looks like our raise of $7 million, which is about average, which is was still amazing for any company to raise that amount, is the largest Series A that any black woman has ever raised in history. So, it's a weird thing to clap for, though, right? It's like
oh, you're average, excellent.
It's like, great, you made it to the average table.
But when you see a product like this, let's forget you. When you see a product like this that could really change lives, that could change communities, $7 million.
I think what helped us is that we've been around for over 5 years, and we started out not by thinking about how to raise, but how to build a sustainable business. So I started working with governments, started working overseas, and quite frankly, chose to figure out how to make money before I chose to raise money, because I wanted to build a sustainable business that could be mapped out, and that I really felt like I had a vision for. And as soon as I graduated from business school, that was critical, and really started to build up the model of what I thought was possible and started to believe in myself, that's when I felt comfortable going into it. And, I think, there's a lot of negativity in the world right now, but what excites me to shift, I try to be as positive a person as I can be. And I think what excites me right now is that that it is possible to raise if you are a woman. It can be difficult, but it is possible. It is possible to raise if you're a person of color. It can be difficult, but it is possible. I think that the key thing, though, is to not see it as charity or philanthropy, but to see it as strategy. If you're an investor, if you're a business person looking at how you diversify your portfolio, I think that for me, what attracted investors to me was my unique perspective. I remember actually specifically telling one VC, I'm afraid to even go through this process. I'm not Mark Zuckerberg. I'm nothing like him. We did go to the same school, but that's about it. I was on the step team. I don't think he was. we did things differently,
sure?
Right? I'm almost certain I didn't see him in the books. And it was funny. And without even missing a beat, this VC said, Jessica, Mark Zuckerberg couldn't have come up with the socket. He was like, and what would he have pulled from to come up with this? And I thought about it, and I was like, everything I am, everything I've built, to me, my life has been a stream of unlikelies, and yet when you look back, every single step makes sense to have brought me where I am. And so instead of trying to hide from that or feel like that's an obstacle, to me, I now see it as a competitive advantage. My perspective, just by being something that hasn't really had a voice or a place at the table in Silicon Valley or in different business arenas, it could be groundbreaking. And I think I'm not the only one who's seeing the world in a different way and can create things like this if given the opportunity. So I'm excited about what the future holds.
I do want to ask about your education as well, because we've talked a lot about STEM and about STEAM, the idea of introducing arts into the middle, or arts and design, STEAMed. We've talked about that today as well. Your education, maybe on paper, you weren't an engineering major.
No. Yeah, I like to say I have a PhD in Google, because I can figure out a lot from Google. It's almost scary. It's actually scary what I can do with Google and Wikipedia. So no, I grew up wanting to be an inventor, so we can't take that away. I grew up pulling out science books from the library, asking my mom for a microscope for Christmas, burning down certain portions of the house, by mistake, all the things that kids do that, pisses off their parents if you're tinkering and whatnot. I always tell people that I try to be the perfect balance between Bill Nye the Science Guy and Beyonce, and that's like what I'm always attempting.
She's got it covered.
To do. But it's, for me, though, so I went to a high school that didn't have a very strong science program, and I fell out of the sciences there, but fell into psychology and economics. And I think this really worked out for me because when I went to college and chose to major in social psychology and economics, I didn't lose my love of problem solving or my love of tinkering, but what I gained was an appreciation for understanding the human factor in everything we build. Everything around us, everything we have, everything that's created is ultimately designed to help human beings, right? To provide something to human beings. So if you understand that, everything you design has a little bit more meaning, and you're less likely to miss the point when you're creating something. And so it really helped me, because even the socket ball, when we first started thinking about it, developing it conceptually, I remember talking to different people I knew in the engineering department at MIT and Harvard, and they kind of were just like, oh, if it's not going to power a whole room, what's the point? And I was like, what's the point? It doesn't need to power a whole room. It just needs to replace that kerosene lamp right there. But they missed it, and I think that it's because I took the time to rest more in the kind of humanistic side of the technology that I was able to catch that.
You are, some people would say, look, you've got big investment now, you've got a product that you're moving forward with. You could be an entrepreneur in the Zuckerberg sense, or you could choose to maintain your commitment to social entrepreneurship. Which way do you go, and why?
That's a really good question. When we closed our round, I immediately moved our company from downtown New York uptown to Harlem. We're on 122nd and Lenox. Come through, it's fun. For me, I thought, if I want to build a successful company for my investors, for my family, because they've struggled with it. Everyone who's an entrepreneur knows it's a family affair. But if we could build one in Harlem, it would be so impactful for everyone who grows up looking like the underdog, anyone who's a woman or a person of color or a member of the LGBT, anyone who doesn't feel like they fit in, anyone who's in this community, they would see this and see a different example of what's possible. I think that for us, it's not just about what we do and how we do it. It's really, excuse me, I should say, it's not just about what we do. It's about also how we do it. And that's how we keep the impact ingrained in our entire business model. So we started authentically with an impact narrative, wanting to create something that could help people in my own family. To me, energy is a problem, and entrepreneurship is about solving problems. And whether we're providing energy systems in lifestyle products or in rural communities in Nigeria and Rwanda, it's still very much about providing power. But also, equally, this company's about empowerment. And whether it's about showing people that they have agency in the way they generate their energy through play or through their own movement, or if it's about showing people that entrepreneurship can look different, and that's okay. In fact, that's awesome. I don't think our company would exist. And it brings
different ideas to the table.
Oh, that's the key. Yeah, our office is like colors of Benetton ad. You should come. It's amazing. Everybody's coming in with a different idea and a different perspective, and what comes out is just a love for people and a tolerance for different concepts. And I feel really blessed, to be honest, to just be working with the team that I'm working with. And what I can say is that, I wouldn't be doing this, and I don't think I could get up each morning to do this, and if we weren't making a difference in the way people think about energy, the role that they play in its generation, the way that it's consumed, and the way innovation is brought into this world, like every single day.
What will you do next?
What's next?
This is so fabulous, but what do you do next for an encore?
An encore. So, I think for me, the key thing I'm really excited about is working with our partners. We have Fortune 100 clients who are taking our technology and integrating it, and getting ready to release their products over the next year to 2 years. And so I'm really excited to work with them and make sure that those releases are amazing. I'm also really excited to build this company and this team in a place where, again, I think I'm saying what I want people to see in our company, but now we actually have to live that and do that. I want to build the first billion-dollar tech company in Harlem. I want to, and we're not there yet.
She's got to get there.
And so I have to do a lot of work to get there. And then I think for me, I'm really, really excited about the concept of reaching out to people who, again, who never thought that they could be part of the conversation of innovation, and actually empowering them to say, you're exactly who we need in the conversation. And it's one thing to say it, it's another thing for them to see it, and the more that I can learn and support in that way, I mean, I always tell people, if on my deathbed people say, she helped make this world a place where everyone was part of the conversation in making this world a better place, you know, I'd be happy.
Terrific. Her company is Uncharted Play. Please go and look for it. Please watch for this woman because she's going to continue to do great things.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.